What's up, everyone? Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. So I never expected this video to go as crazy as it has, but it's been picked up by Stack3D. And apparently people are mad at me for simply talking about data. And if you missed the video yesterday, you can look at it on this very channel, the YouTube Tiger Fitness channel, and know that I talked about a study that was actually presented. It has not been published yet. I just want you to know it has not been published yet, but it was presented in Florida, I believe like a week ago, right? So it's presented and it is being reviewed for publication. So the bottom line is, this is a study. And I'm gonna go over why I read this study, why we need to look at studies like this, and why we need further studies. Now, reading data, you understand that there is a reason why they still do studies on creatine. There is a reason why we don't just stop at one study and say that, hey, science is settled, trust the science. We only do that during national pandemics where we just trust the science. Other than that, we look at data and we keep performing and testing the data. And every study I have read, and I have done on this channel more research and more videos on turkesterone than pretty much any other channel. So my initial view on turkesterone, just being dead honest, it's a scam. It's always been a scam, not meaning that people are trying to rip you off, meaning it just doesn't work based on what you pay for it. Now, everything has some sort of an effect, whether it's minor or major. We can argue that all day long. But the bottom line is turkesterone and other ectosterones. I sold one in 2006 called Anagen. It had cyanotis vaga, which is ectosterone. And I actually found when I took a huge dose of it, I did get some results. But again, there's a reason why it just becomes unaffordable. You have to take grams and grams and grams of this stuff. So when you look at the study done by Jose Antonio, I'll pull it up right here. The study I went over, ectosteroid supplementations in young males and females. So a lot of people on the Stack3D Instagram, I'll pull that up in a minute. I just have to go look for it. I don't want to do that this early in the video. You know, a lot of people are, it was on the wrong Turk. It was on the wrong Turk, because every other study, they're like, well, it's not on the right Turk. It's not on the Uzbekistani Kirk. It's not on the Ajunga. It's not on the right Turk. So Jose Antonio looked at this, and since it is not a funded study, it was an unfunded study, it's not going to be the biggest, baddest study. It was a 4-week study utilizing 12 men and women, healthy young men and women. That's about it. And they measured 4 markers. They measured strength. They measured a lot of things. They measured mood. They measured sleep. And nothing happened in 4 weeks. And the dosing they used was the label recommended dosing, which is 1 to 3 caps a day. So since the group is so large, you could say, what about, they didn't account for body weight. They didn't do this. Well, I'd assume there were some smaller dudes, and it's somewhere in the study. I'm not going to read it right now. I assume the women are smaller. They don't just have professional friggin' strong women on this thing. So you had a range of people from small males to large males, and then you had small females to large females. So I don't think the dosing's an issue. It says 1 to 3 capsules on the label. I made sure to double check this. So you would think that over 4 weeks, at the lowest recommended dosing on the bottle, that there would be at least some changes. Not even statistically significant, but just some changes. And the fact there were no changes, hey, okay, that's something to look at. So you could say that based on this range of data, based on these variables we looked at, it was a very well-designed study. It was a double blind. That is the gold standard of studies. And if you're in the chat right now, feel free to chime in. I'd love to have you guys chime in with your opinions and your questions on this. If not, I'll just go off about it. So I always like to say that, you know, I'm pretty friendly with Greg. He's pretty mad at me right now, and I really don't know why. Okay, because I simply reported the data. Now, it's really funny how the world works, because just 2 weeks ago, a lot of people were mad at me for being very positive about turkesterone. If you look at my comments on YouTube, a lot of people were saying I sold out, that Greg paid me this, that, and the third. Because what I did is I took all that data from Uzbekistan on diabetic patients and on anemics. And I went through the hassle of going through it, making notes on it, pointing out what went on in the studies, and translating it in some cases. And what I found is that, yes, the data in diabetics and people with anemia, very promising. The rodent data, promising. But the problem was the population. Things work differently in athletes than they do in sick people. So take essential amino acids, for example. I'm gonna blast myself right now. So in a lot of my products, I use really the only proven formula of essential amino acids. It's called Amino 9. It's distributed by Compound Solutions. No other EAA has data showing that it prevents muscle loss or it causes muscle gain. What this study found is that it does both of those things. The problem is, you want to know the population it studied? Sarcopenic older people. So older people with problems with muscle wasting. So we can extrapolate that it might do some stuff in athletes, but it's not directly on athletes. And I state that in every time I talk about it. I mean, I'm like, hey, this is the proven one, but the population it was proven on wasn't a healthy young male trying to gain lean mass. So I'm honest, and I go over the data, and we do the best we can with the data we have. So why aren't there more studies on turkesterone? Because no one wants to fund them. Everybody talks about studies. Everybody talks about a lack of studies. What they don't understand is the cost to do a study. And I went over this in the last video. Yes, I did fund a study on branched amino acids. Yes, it did show phenomenal results. Off the top of my head, I'm not going to pull it up again. I did it in the last video. They had a placebo. There was 36 participants, trained males, young trained males, set on a controlled diet and controlled training program based on their body weight. Okay, the placebo group, which was Gatorade, they gained 1 pound of lean mass and lost 0 fat. The other group was the whey protein group. This is during training, accounting for 14 grams of either branched amino acids, whey protein, or Gatorade. The whey protein group gained 4 pounds of lean mass and lost 2 pounds of fat. The branched chain amino acid group gained 9 pounds of lean mass and lost 4.5 pounds of fat. So right when we came out with that, despite it being a double-blind, placebo-controlled study, everybody said I paid off the researchers. The research didn't count because I funded it. Bullshit. I had nothing to do with that study. And right now, I have nothing to gain by telling you about that study. I sell branch chains, but it's not my number 1 product. It's not even number 5. But I did the study. I spent the tens of thousands of dollars. And I showed that, hey, these things might actually do something. These things might actually do something. We had 2 basic control groups, and they worked really well. Not only did I do it that way, I had 2 different groups doing the study. I had the College of Charleston, run by Dr. Timothy Sheets, and I also had the Weider Research Institute, led by Dr. Jim Stepani. Yes, that Jim Stepani. Branch chains work, in my opinion. I've seen the study. I didn't do anything. I couldn't even talk to Jim. We used to talk all the time back then. Couldn't even talk to him while the study was going. He wouldn't take my calls. So now you have people mad at me for simply reading data. And I even said in that study, in that video, we need more data. We need a lot more data. We need data, 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 data. So let's say there's a company that's selling millions of dollars worth of turkesterone. And I'm not just throwing this at Greg. I'm talking to Derek at More Plates, More Dates. I'm talking to everybody making a Turk, making any claims, because there is no human data in trained athletes showing that it does anything at all. Anything at all. We're extrapolating that it's going to work off of data on rodents, off of data on anemics, and off of data on individual diabetes. So you would think that Derek or Greg would be like, you know what? I'm not counting people's money. I'm not that guy. When I did that study on Extend, I was driving a used Nissan Xterra, driving across the country, slanging branch chains. These guys are rich as hell, man. You're telling me they don't have a couple $100,000 to throw into this study? I mean, you're telling me that company doesn't have a couple $100,000 to invest in this study? And the argument is they're going to try and trash Jose's reputation. And that's not cool. Jose Antonio is one of the most ethical men I've ever known in my life. Jose Antonio is a tenured professor. Jose Antonio is not after the bag. That's not what he does. What he does, same reason he did this study, he wants to know what works. He is a supplement nerd. I was at the first ISSN Expo, the first one. I was one of the first, if not the first, sponsor of the International Society of Sport Nutrition. What do? Well, they basically protect us. Those guys provide us a journal to exhibit data on supplements, diet, and training. They have a great position papers on protein, on creatine. These guys, when something goes wrong, when the government wants to ban something, they come together and they help us defend our industry. These guys are out to help the industry. And no, they don't get paid much. No, these guys all have real jobs. They do it because they love it. You know, you got Dr. Tim Ziegenfuss, you got Dr. Douglas Kalman, you got all these great individuals. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is the interwebs are going to try and slander these great guys who have been doing God's work. Jose Antonio has done more studies than most of y'all have eaten breakfasts. Like Jose Antonio, he's not the guy to go after. He's older, I believe he's in his 60s, still active, goes out and paddle boards every day. Nicest guy, will always take your call. If I ever need help with something, I'm gonna let out a little secret. If I'm formulating something and I have a question on how different supplements interact with one another and I don't quite understand the pathways, I will always get a hold of Jose, and he always takes my call. He's never tried to bill me. He's never tried to take money from me. He's just a good friend. He's a good guy, and he cares about the industry, and he cares about science. And what really pisses me off is the people in this industry who are all about integrity, who are all about science, who are all about backing up what they do with science. I'm going to come under attack. It's just going to happen. And I'm not going to sit back and watch. Look, I'm not going to lie. I was very emotional about this yesterday. I wasn't crying. I cry when my kids win sporting events. I don't cry over this shit. I got more stuff in my life going on. I did a video and I was calling people out and I was angry. And I decided today not to post it. Because you know what? I want to give the benefit of the doubt. Let's have this debate. Instead of trashing Jose's study, do it better. Fund your own study. Well, Mark, why don't you? I've done it. I funded my own study. I've already done it. I have nothing, no study to fund. I'm not selling anything that is lacking human data. I'm not selling anything that I need to do a study to prove that it works. It's not what I do. Not anymore. Branch chains, that's my bag. A lot of the reason I have this beautiful roof over my head is due to my work in creating the intra-workout category and pioneering and popularizing the intra-workout category. I'm not trying to sell Turk. I'm not smuggling Turk. I'm not smuggling keys. That's not me. But I think Turk is definitely something we need to look into. I think it's very promising. And that's coming from someone who sold Ectosterone back in the day, before you guys were even thinking of being in this industry. That was 2007. Dude, I've been in this game too long to have newcomers come in because I have a bigger following and tell me how to fucking read data and tell me who to trust and tell me how to ethically build a company. Look, I had my opportunity to sell pro hormones. I had my opportunity to do SARMs and never did because it's not something I do. I sell proven shit that I love. Sure, there's some stock ingredients. We could argue about glutamine all you want. We could argue about a lot of stuff. But I want to know, what am I scamming people on? Well, what am I scamming people on? Whey protein, peanut butter-based protein bars. Yeah, big scam. It's a snack. Creatine, branch chains. Well, branch chains don't work. I funded a study. Fund one that proves I'm wrong. A study as well done with 2 different groups looking at it at the same time. I'm just sick and tired of this, man. You know, everybody thinks they're an expert in this shit. This is what I've lived and breathed since 1999. 1999. Started Scivation in 2004. Here I am, still kicking, still doing my thing, still creating stuff. And Jose was here before me. Jose was writing articles in the publications in the 90s. And you're going to tell me that he isn't ethical? You're going to call into question his studies? And let me tell you something Jose once told me. Every study is flawed. You will find a flaw in every study. And that is why there needs to be more than one study. Why is the onus on Jose Antonio, who has no financial stake in this other than nothing, other than just wanting to know what works, to do another follow-up study to Turk? He did it. 4 weeks, 1 capsule a day, 12 men and women, healthy and young. If you want that big study, if you want to have 36, 48, 60 individuals taking turkesterone, put them on 3 to 6 capsules a day. Fund the study. Oh, you want better tests? Cool. Spend the money. Do muscle biopsy. Do strength tests. Don't just do grip. Let's do leg extension. Let's do squats. Let's do bench press. Let's do that. No, you're not going to do it. Instead, you're going to go and pick apart a guy who does studies for a living and tell him that he does not know how to do a study. I'll tell you what, man, I've kind of had enough. I try to do the right thing. I read the data. I tried to interject little opinion. I even ended the video with, if you take this and like it, don't stop taking it. If you want to try it, because hey, Anecdotal is just as good as data in my opinion. If you get good results from something, you don't need a study. If I'm taking something, if I'm taking Ambrosia Hydroglyph, I'm going to drop some product bombs in here, guys. I got to pay my bills. If I'm going to take Ambrosia Hydroglyph and I feel better during my workout and I'm getting more reps and I'm recovering faster, I don't give a shit about the study. I don't care that the MyHMB in here has hundreds of studies. I don't care that there's hundreds of studies with electrolytes. I don't care that I funded the study on the amino acids in here. I don't care. I just know that it's working. So if you're taking turkesterone and it works, that's great. Or likewise, if you think Greg's a great guy and you believe him and you'll take his product and try it because you believe in him, which you should. Greg's a great guy. Why do you need a fucking study? Why do you need a study? All you need to do is try it. And if it works for you, great. Well, what if it's just placebo? If I could take a placebo and get bigger, stronger, and faster, I'd take that fucking placebo. Placebo effect is great. I don't know anybody has something against wrong with placebo effect. My brother, when he was 17, I was 11. My brother was going to college, Saracoso Community College in Ridgecrest, California. I remember he did something crazy to me at the time. He bought a tub of creatine. At that time, creatine to me was steroids. I said, Aaron, my brother's name's Aaron. Creatine, I heard it doesn't work. He said, well, it's working for me. And I'm like, how do you know it's not placebo? Yes, I did know the word placebo at 11. I remember this conversation so vividly. He said, you know why? I don't care if it's placebo. I'm getting stronger and I'm gaining size. That's all I needed to know. So no, I'm not trying to take down Turk. I'm a fan of Turk. I'm a fan of new ingredients that might help people reach their goals. Velocitol is one of them. That's something else that we have in Hydroglyph, by the way. Velocitol doubles the power of your protein. I was the first one. I even used Velocitol in an outright bar. It's how much I love it. New ingredient. People question it. Human data shows it doubles the power of your protein. I'm like, this is great. We need new ingredients. We need new breakthroughs. If this Uzbekistani fucking Turk is the next level of supplementation, let's fucking go. But the question will be there until we start funding studies. So if you're serious about your brand, if you're serious about the ingredient, you're not just trying to make a quick buck, hey, do a follow-up study. This is a great study. This is a great way to start it. Now let's extrapolate on that, put different groups in there, make it hater-proof. I did with my study, I made that bitch hater-proof. Still got hated on, but I made sure that I invested enough money to design a study where it would be hater-proof and I would have no involvement in the study, where you have the College of Charleston and the Weider Research Group. Still got hated on, but I knew deep down in my heart that those are just haters. And no matter what I do, they won't like me or what I do. But I knew deep down in my heart that this data is valid. This data is legit. That's all I got to say. I do have the angry video right now. I even have a thumbnail for it. It's private. The only one who's seen it is Alan Roberts. Alan Roberts and my wife. My wife thought it was hilarious. She actually was kind of upset I didn't post it because it was a good video, but I got too personal. And this isn't personal. This is about science. If Greg or Derek or anybody else wants to make it personal, that's on them. I'm not doing it. I'm going to say for the record, I love Greg Doucette. I think he's a great guy. I think he's the best YouTube channel. I love his shit. I think Derek Moore Plates More Dates is a genius. I love those guys. I didn't get personal in their character. I got personal on their position. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to ruin the friendship that we might have. Sure, I'm not breaking bread with them, but I'd like to think if I saw Greg or Derek at a trade show, we'd share a hug and have a good conversation. I don't want to ruin that. I just want to let you know that that video, I'm not gonna apologize. I'm not gonna say I wasn't wrong. I read studies. And if you see, all studies are flawed. But the problem is there aren't enough. Are you sitting here? Are you really telling me? Are you really gonna look me in the eye, past my big nose, look me in my eye with my droopy right eyelid? I don't know why the fuck it does that. Are you gonna look me in the eye and tell me that a human study done by a tenured professor in the state of Florida is not as credible as multiple studies done in fucking Uzbekistan on patients with diabetes and anemia? If you can look me in the eye and you can tell me that, then I'll believe you. But I don't think you even believe yourself right now. That's all I got to say about that. With that being said, this is a live. I have a couple chats I'd like to get to. Then I actually have to do some office work. Go figure. I have work to do. I hate work. I just want to do YouTube videos all day long. This would be the greatest life. Like just sitting here fucking spewing YouTube. I would love it. Unfortunately for me, it's a 15-minute job a day, but I'm going to take 30 for this one. All right, from Rico A. I believe the original study that caused all the hype had huge doses over time. Every couple of hours, maybe it works, but at massive doses. I've never seen human data that suggested any benefit to Turk other than diabetics and anemics. I haven't seen it. If you could forward me that data, I'd be glad to review it, sir. Thank you so much. I'm guessing you're a sir. Rico A. Big Spoon Bear, welcome back, sir. Sup, Mark? There's been another RCT in berberine that is showing some good results for type 2 diabetes. I've actually been following berberine quite well. We use it in Alchemy NCT from Ambrosia. Also we use the actually dihydroberberine in that. We use berberine in MTS Nutrition Nutrient Driver. We do have Nutrient Driver in stock right now, Tiger Fitness. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, saves you 10% site-wide on Tiger Fitness. We're going to have more stock of MTS products in the next couple weeks. Please forgive us. We have some restructuring to do. That's fantastic. Thank you for that. From Lou Trader 76. Mark, I've been lifting consistently for 16 years. Congratulations, my friend. I reduced my volume by a lot and grew more, but science says volume is the most important factor for growth. What's your thoughts on volume? I don't think the science actually says that. I think some science says it. I think that you were probably, there's a point of diminishing return, right? where your exhaustion and your fatigue outweighs your mechanical tension and your progressive overload. Muscle is built, well, I believe volume plays a role. I absolutely do. If you're watching my training vlogs of my son, we do a lot of volume, but we start out with the 5-3-1 method, which I love. And we always make sure we hit overload, progressive overload, and mechanical tension. Want to make sure we get extreme mechanical tension on the muscle, but volume does play a role. So my statement to you is you have that low baseline, keep it there. And once you stop making gains, throw in a little bit more volume, maybe 2 more sets, and see if that increases your results. Okay. I do just think you are beating yourself up and your body's just like, thank you, Jesus, for giving me a little break. Anyway, Loot Trader, thank you so much, sir. Much love, much appreciation. What's up, Rod? How you doing? I see you're a fan of the Chargers. That's the Rams. Fuck. I was thinking Harbaugh. I think you're a fan of the Rams. It's been a long day. SG, one guy claims he does 1 set per muscle group, a little more reps on arms, takes 2 days off and repeats. Sure. I don't know if the question's in there, but that's okay. I do believe the data that I've been able to read, that I am interpreting with my brain, which might be lackluster, I do believe that you want to hit about 4 to 5 working sets per muscle per week. And working sets means that you're going close to failure or to failure. Hopefully that helps. From Tired of Imbecile Libtards, obviously one of my Twitter friends, Turkesterone is a waste of money. It's total snake oil. Might be great for plant food. Just stick to TRT, Nandrolone, whey protein, creatine, and a good diet. That's all you need to get great results. I will not take Nandrolone. My doctor prescribed it for me once. And everything was going good. And then, my wife, we're having a little lovey time. And everything was going fine. And then it went away. And I panicked because nothing in my life has ever worked 100% of the time except for that. What the fuck? I thought I was dying. I'm like, what the hell? So I called my doctor in the morning and I'm like, bro, what the hell just happened to me? He's like, well, what are you doing different? Well, I'm like, well, you did prescribe me that. Deca. Okay. Oh, that's Deca dick. I'm like, Deca, what? Yeah, it turns out that can happen. And I will never touch Nandrolone again. From Tired of Imbecile Libtards. Protein, creatine, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2 are fine because your body needs those things. I'm not going to argue with that. From Bo Eckenster, I love your products. Look at that peck in that picture right there. Bo, you're a jacked man. From Tay Diggs, I know the feeling. What's up, Tay? How you doing? From Zionic 484, great idea with your daylight savings video. Nicely done, Mark. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you're just tuning into this, I did film a video on how to best handle daylight savings time, and hopefully that can help you and yours as well. From Curtis, I enjoy seeing you train with your sons. Very inspirational and awesome. I love the fact that I have a 16, soon to be 17-year-old son who still wants to hang out with his dad. I'm about to cry. No, that kid's amazing. He placed in state this year in wrestling. Yeah, he's now we're doing college visits for wrestling. I couldn't be more proud. Like you could tell I'm kind of tearing up. I did not ever expect Thomas. This is not a slight to him, but like up until last year, he just lacked focus. And it's not my job to give him focus. It's my job to show him how to find focus. And God willing, that kid has just surprised me. It was funny because after he placed in state, I was talking to some of his coaches. I'm like, man, that shocked me. They're like, not us. I'm like, what? They're like, nah, Thomas has been grinding, been doing his thing. And I'm like, I'm a horrible dad. I had no faith in my son. I didn't think he'd make state. I had my expectations really low. So I'm the opposite of a stage dad. I'm a realistic dad. I didn't know he was there this year. And God bless, man, he was. From Dustin, what's up, Mark? What's up, Dustin? How you doing? The Bears. How do you think the Bears are going to do next year? Hey, they should get Aaron Rodgers. I heard Rodgers might be going to the Giants. From Sluggo, Mark, why do you mark up competitor protein powders so high and no one wants to buy them on Tiger Fitness? Sell MTS at a lower price. I'll tell you why. First of all, we're out of MTS. We're not doing that. Nutrex is actually the same price as MTS was. Nutrex Whey. And the reason is because it's not our brand. So there's a middleman. There's a distributor and the seller. So in order for us to make enough money to keep our lights on, we're charging basically the lowest margin we need to make to keep the lights on, especially on whey protein, which is not a high margin product. But if you're looking for a good value, Nutrex whey on Tiger Fitness is the same price as MTS, but we should have MTS in the next week or two. So keep your eye on that. Well, he's in his 70s. He says he was heavy enough weight to where he's struggling with 12th rep. I mean, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, he's stimulating. He's getting it done. It works for him. That's on the guy who does one set to failure. Bro, if you're still banging at 70, I got nothing. You're the man. From Curtis, does kinetic work as good as halitosis? Usually that's 1 milligram of caffeine. Not as good because we use recommended doses, but you are, especially if you're sensitive to caffeine and stuff, you're going to love it. I actually have kinetic in here right now. Need a midday pick me up and I didn't feel like coffee. I want a delicious tropical lime kinetic shake. All right. From Dustin, Mark is a great guy. When we started bodybuilding club at Illinois State University, he came out to support. That was an amazing time. I remember that day I went and I lectured for, I believe it was the marketing club. And then we had that lift. And I remember they wouldn't let me wear a tank top for fear of staph infection. And that's all I packed. And since then, I will tell you this, Dustin, since then, I have never trained in a tank top after that day. All my videos, I'm in just Tiger Fitness shirt. From Zionic, my son is 7. I take him to the gym with me and he just hangs out. But what age do you recommend I get him lifting? So I would recommend you get him in the right programming. Go to legacy@carbon.com. That's legacy@carbon. We'll program for him. There's a lot of regressions you need to do. Preston started lifting at 6. But I had him doing other things before then. And now Preston's a state champ wrestler. And I will argue at his age, probably one of the best defensive linemen in the state as well. So I would recommend as soon as possible. Oh, here we go. From Greg. Hi, Greg. You know better. The difference they use in body scan, useless. The in-body scan is useless. I can agree with that. One of the participants ate 8 pounds of lean body mass in 4 weeks without working out. Fantastic. Then we can extrapolate from that study that some people did make some gains. Fantastic, Greg. Thank you for that. Again, we need to extrapolate more on this study. There was an outlier there. Absolutely. That is fantastic. Thank you, Greg. Love you, Greg. More educational videos. I can agree. The next generation should always surpass the previous one. Doesn't mean we can make it easy for them. I started using Nectar and Hydroglyph and MTS creatine. Fantastic products. I've been training since 13, now 45. I can feel a difference. Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Oscar. From Greg. Wait till you watch my video on this bias study from his friend who did this study and Mark covered before it's even released. Well, yeah, I covered it because it was presented as a poster. And I read the study, I read the results, and I extrapolated what I could. Again, I don't think Jose is biased. I certainly am not. If anything, I'm biased towards Turk working. I want Turkesterone to work. It creates a whole nother category for the site. So it was a study done on Turk Builder, and that was the conclusions the researchers came to. I am not a researcher. The other studies I presented in more than a fair manner, including the ones done on diabetic patients and anemics and rodents. I've done it all. So I will say that I'm going to read Greg's next comment. I did the best I could with the data I have. It's not published yet. And when it is published, I will continue. And again, that video was done in a way where I read the data and then I moved on and I explained why we need more data. Redo them, study, give everyone 10 milligrams of Anavar, and the exact same findings were this BS study was designed to fail. So Greg, I challenge you to do this. Do your own study. You're rich. You're rich. Don't even do it with any of the ISSN guys. Fuck them. Don't do it with them. Do it with Saskatchewan, University of Saskatchewan. They do a lot of studies. In fact, they do a lot of the studies for Muscle Tech. And you're up in Canada, which will be America's 51st state soon. If you really think this study's done poorly, set up your own study. I'll help you do it. No, Greg. Greg, here's the thing, bro. I'm being real. Yes. No. What? Okay, I don't know what the fuck that means. What Jose was trying to do is avoid what happened to me. Is people still saying you funded it, it's bullshit. Because your argument will be, well, if I fund the study, then everybody's going to just say it's a lie anyway. So that was where that's from. I can't wait to see your video. I really can't. I'd love to do an in-person like talk about this. I can't fly to Canada because you guys arrest people for tweets. And I've said a lot of bad shit about Canada. But look, man, I want a study. I want Turk to work. I want this to be the next best thing. I don't know how genuine you need me to be on this. And to accuse me of clickbaiting, I literally post training videos of my son and I training that get 600 views. Wouldn't someone who uses Mike Israetel's name in every title, are you really accusing someone whose views fucking suck of clickbaiting? Dude, my channel sucks. Like 10 people watch it and it's me and my son training. And I do videos on daylight savings time. I'm not a clickbaiter. That's what y'all do. I was simply going on a study on a popular product. And yes, you do have the #1 Turk product. You should be proud of that. So proud that you fund a study. Again, if you want to meet in Florida, you want to meet in Tennessee, you want to meet in Texas, shit, let's go to Michigan and New York. I'll be there. I cannot go to Canada. I will get arrested. Trust me on this. And honestly, y'all are commies out there, man. Mark, the way to avoid decadent is make sure your no, dude, I was on a 2-to-1 test to TRT ratio. Thanks for the. I'm gonna need a collab, Tiger Fitness and HL. I would give my right testicle to work with. I love Greg. This is not me going against Greg. I don't understand that. And Greg is the #1 product. Of course, you're gonna be the one they test. You should be proud of that. Like you have the one true sourced Turk. Let's study it. I will help you every step of the way. I will help you find and it can be someone who doesn't know what the ISSN is, and you can fund it yourself, but you could do this study. I'll help you every time. I promise you, I give you my word. I will spend countless hours. I'll even take it off your plate. I won't, I'm not going to fund it, but I will do everything in my power to help you design this study. Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time. No, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. Canada is not going to be America's first. No, we're not going to be. That's a joke. Trump. Come on. We would never have a Republican win again if we had Canada's 51st state. They're socialists. Maybe what are the conservative provinces? Alberta? Canada has the greatest wall of all time. That is called America. Again, it's not personal, guys. And I'm not gonna go and say I did anything wrong with reading that study. If I missed a couple things in the study, so be it. So be it. I read the data. I even went through and took out the main points of the data. There's nothing more I can do. But again, why would a researcher tell somebody to have a charity fund the study? And that is so you don't have happen to you what happened to me. And that is everybody say that you bought and paid for the study results. My buddy Darren Willoughby gets accused of that all the time out of University of Baylor. Greg, I'm not posting anything, bro. I have nothing but love. I'm not gonna act out of emotion. I'm not that guy. I used to be that guy. I'm not that guy anymore, man. You and I we're old. We're in our 40s. You're almost 50. We're successful. We don't need a flame war. Let's just talk about the ingredients and call it a day. That's it. And hey, I will be like I did when I read over the diabetes and anemia studies. I will be the first one to do a video about Turk working. I'll be the first one to congratulate you. I'll be the first one to tell people to buy it. I'm not even buying it from me, not even buying it from my site. I'm talking about just buying it because it would be awesome. And even now I'm telling people to try it and see how it reacts to them. I don't know how you could play this whole I'm an evil guy thing. It's to the point where I don't understand it. I'm simply reporting data. I'm not coming at you like you did to Mike Israetel. I'm not going at your character. I'm not going at anything. Okay, Again, I'm with the study was bogus. We need more. We agree. The study was not bogus. I'm not going to agree on that, but we need more. We need more. Fund a study. Somebody needs to fund it. It's not going to be me. I've been there, done that, guys. I've been in this game a lot longer than anybody in this fucking chat. It's not going to be me. But if you don't like the study and you need more studies, do you want Jose to foot the bill every single fucking time? Do you want Jose? Do you really think Jose has time for you? He doesn't give a fuck. You guys can slander him all you want on the internet. Jose's not on YouTube. He's teaching classes. Yes. Here's what you do, Greg. Here's what you do. Set up a crowdfunding thing. Set up a GoFundMe. Set up, I guarantee you, the problem is you deliberately know. I don't know better. I really don't. I don't know better. I read data. I was excited to see data, and I read it exactly as it was written. If Jose wrote it wrong, that's on him. But I just read the data, and it wasn't published, but it was presented. And if you know how this shit works, a presentation puts it in public domain. I did not deliberately do anything. I've probably sold more Turk for you than anybody but you. I did that video. People were mad at me for promoting it. I asked to give 200K to the charity. No, 200K would only cover the cost of the study. That's how much these things cost. It's not cheap. But again, if there's some ethical things at play, I don't know about them. Jose is a friend of mine, yes. But it's not like we orchestrated this. I saw the presentation. I'm like, well, this is pretty cool. Turk doesn't work unless you are an insect. They pushed this garbage years ago and didn't work then. It doesn't work now. There are better products out there that actually works from Chat on the Road. Did I miss? I'm not going to read that. That's just going to make him more mad at me. Yeah, it's your product. Fun. Again, like, this shouldn't be a debate. I'm simply reporting on data. I didn't make any. So the money back guarantee, $20 gift card. That's fair. It's very fair. But a lot of I'm not going to go there. There's marketing aspects to that I don't want to go into, and historical data. Most people are not likely to take you up on a money back guarantee offer. That's why you see one on every TV infomercial. But again, like, if it truly works, why not fund the study? Bro, you drive a Lambo. You can afford a study. I would want to know. I drive a Yukon with 105,000 miles on it. Like, yeah, machine lean still does exist. I think we have it in stock right now, actually. Sorry to take off this back and forth, but see, is it in stock? Yeah, it's in stock. It's in stock. TigerFitness.com. Okay, 200K to fund one study in secret, which I'm not going to lie, to fund it in secret. This one study proves nothing. You need a meta-analysis on 10 plus studies to show it works. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't. You need one study to demonstrate that it has some activity. That's Greg, come on. Are you serious? So why do any studies unless you do 10 of them? What are people going to do for master's theses? Like, why? Why even get a master's degree and do a study when it doesn't count if you don't have 10 plus? Is this comment for real? I mean, I'm being honest. Like, studies don't matter unless there's 10 of them. Greg, I love you, but you got to push back. I got to push. Mark isn't on the attack. He simply brought out the report, gave a positive opinion, and loves competition in the market. I don't want to sell a Turk. I don't want to go to Uzbekistan and get Turk. I have enough shit going on. I truly want this thing to be the next creatine. Yes, you can't keep it in stock. And that's why you have the money to fund the study, Greg. You're selling a shit out of it for $70 a bottle. I know your product cost isn't $50. I can price it out right now if you would like me to. Mark, explain the marketing tax money back and $20 gift card. So it makes the customer doesn't usually take you up on that. I can actually probably, I could pull up the data. I'm gonna have to use ChatGPT. I apologize. When offering a money back guarantee, are people likely to use it? See what chat okay, this per ChatGPT. Okay, because I'm not going to research other than ChatGPT right now for sake of time. In most cases, very few people actually use a money-back guarantee, even when they're eligible. Here's why. Psychological effect of a guarantee. A money-back guarantee reduces risk for the buyer, making them more likely to purchase. People associate guarantees with confidence in product, which increases trust. Studies show that only 1 to 5% of customers typically request a refund, depending on the industry. The hassle of returning a product, even if easy, discourages refunds. People want to justify their purchase. People experience post-purchase rationalization. They convince themselves they made the right choice. If the product is good enough, they won't bother returning it. Good enough in quotes. Some people feel guilty about returning a product, especially from a brand they like, and others forget about the guarantee or procrastinate past the return window. Bottom line from ChatGPT, a money-back guarantee increases sales while only a small percentage of customers actually take advantage of it. It's a win-win for businesses. From ChatGPT. I'm sorry, I must have rigged ChatGPT now. Also was looking at that in Vasky during cut. Thank you. People read the emails. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, Jose probably doesn't mind. He's old. He's not here. This totally needs to be an Evening Rants pod episode. Greg, link up with Mark and make this happen. Am I the one reading Greg's comments and his voice in my head? I actually do that all the time. Coach Greg, if that's the case about studies needing to be 10 plus, take back siding with scientific snitch on bulking not working. The sample was obese on average and it was one study. Let's talk. Ooh. Eating old girl increases my testosterone by 100%, no cap. So is old girl like code for your wife, like old lady, or are you eating old women? I need further in. I need this further explained. Crocodile King. Now Tiger Fitness has a money back banner on their site already. We actually do have a money back guarantee, and people take us up on it, unfortunately. Not for our products. Oh man, the amount of returns I have. Oh, it's Bryce Beal. What's up, Bryce? So Bryce is the one who hears me rant about studies all day long. I sent him one at like 11 o'clock last night about unilateral training when one limb is immobilized. Because Bryce has a fake leg. Chat on the road. Love you, Mark. Keep it real. Kudos, brother. Crocodile King. You never expanded. You just put smiley faces. Are you eating your old lady or are you eating old ladies? Or is your old lady old? There's a lot of ways to go with this, Crocodile. From Bryce, it should be studied more diligently. Check that, Mark. There were 2. Yes, there were 2 studies. I did send him 2 studies. Guys, I appreciate you watching. I went way longer than I wanted to. Greg, I appreciate you. I love you. And I hope that, again, I wish you nothing but the best in everything you do. And I do not take back anything I said. I simply read data. And in the great words of Conor McGregor, I'd like to apologize to absolutely nobody. Guys, thank you so much for watching. 10% off tigerfitness.com. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA. Get you 10% off the entire site, including what my man here needs, and that is the Machine Lean and the Vasky. We should have outright bars MTS way back in the next couple weeks. Until then, we carry hundreds of other brands to help you reach your goals. And of course, I'm here. You can reach me anytime you want. DM me on Instagram or Mark, M-A-R-C at tigerfitness.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mark Lobliner. Are you currently taking LMNT for your electrolytes? That's great. Electrolytes are very important, especially for athletes. The problem is I think they took it a little too far. 1,000 milligrams of sodium per packet. That's great if you're an endurance athlete running in high temperatures, 100 plus. But if you're not perspiring that much, if you're not doing that much activity, if you're simply exercising, well, normally, it's a lot. You're looking at intake, you take a few packets, 10,000 milligrams of sodium a day. So what I like to do is I like to flavor all my water with electrolytes because electrolytes are vitally important and vitally important for you to intake. Now, what do? I take Ambrosia Hydroglyph. So Ambrosia Hydroglyph, available in stick packs as well as bags. Now, it's beyond sodium, potassium, magnesium. It has other things that'll help your body keep muscle and perform better. It has the essential amino acids. It has your branched chain amino acids. It has velocitol, which doubles the power of those amino acids. It even has my HMB. So if you're really training hard, it staves off muscle loss. If you're looking for something well beyond the current electrolyte you're taking, something that won't overdo it, but give you everything needed to perform at your best and be as healthy as possible, Ambrosia Hydroglyph is your choice.